Hi, in this video I will talk about the process of one-point tracking. So to start with it, first I will show you the footage. So I'm gonna play and now you can see the content of the footage. So to start with the process of one-point tracking, I would like to add a text over here which will be tracked along with this particular container. So to start with it, I will double click on this layer which is already available in the composition, and now I am in the layer panel. Now to start with the process of tracking, there are two options how you can start it. One is by right clicking on the layer and go to track and stabilize and select what type of tracking do you want to perform. There's also another process in which you can go to the window menu. Here you can enable the tracker panel. So I will adjust the tracker panel and now you can see if the layer is selected, there are four options which are available, and these are track camera, warp stabilizer, track motion and stabilize motion. So you can select out of these four options available for the process of tracking. So if you right click, go to track and stabilize, here you can see track camera which is also available over here. You can see warp stabilizer VFX which is available over here. And then we have track motion which is available here. Also it has something called as stabilize motion. So this stabilize motion option is not available over here. Moving ahead, we have to start with the track motion option. So here you can see this is the button for track motion and I'm going to click, and now you can see the options are activated for this panel. So the first option is motion source. That is simply referring to the footage which will be used for the process of tracking. The second option is current track, and if you click right now, there is only one tracker and which you can see over here. It is available here as track point 1. Here you can see the track point 1 contains two squares and a plus icon. Now to identify these, the plus icon is known as attach point. The smaller box is known as the pattern region, and the big box which can be adjusted is known as the search region. So this is basically your tracker. Apart from that, you have the next option that says track type, and if you click over here you get different options, which is stabilize. So if you want to stabilize the footage, you should go for this option. If you want to go for any kind of tracking, you should select transform. And apart from that, if you want to go for the 4-point tracking, you can go for parallel corner pin or perspective corner pin. And finally, you have something called as raw. Now raw is something which will help you to track. Once you feel the track is correct, then you can select out of these options and perform the operation. So right now I will keep this to transform, and let's understand how to use the 1-point tracking. So first of all, I will bring this track point 1 to a certain position which I would like to track, and I will increase the size of the inner box and outer box. So the inner box, which is known as the pattern region, identifies the overall image, or you can say it identifies the pixels which resides into it, and for each and every frame it will search for that particular pattern in this given area. So I'm going to adjust search region in a rectangular way because the movement is happening in the horizontal dimension. And now here we have the analyze button. So you can see these are analyze button. If you want to analyze in the forward direction, you need to click on this button. If you want to analyze in the backward direction, you should go for analyze backward. And if you want to analyze frame by frame in the forward or in the backward direction, then you should use these buttons. So right now I would like to analyze it in the forward direction. So I will click on this analyze forward button. Before clicking on this, there is a button which says options. So if I click over here, here you will get a motion tracker options window. Now here you will see that the first option is tracker 1. This is basically your tracker 1 which is seen in the layer panel, and also in the layer you can see this is tracker 1. So you can rename this as well if you want to assign any specific name. Apart from that, the second option says tracker plugin. So here you will click to get a list if there is any third-party plugin installed for the process of tracking. The next section is channel. So you can decide which channel do you really want to use for the process of tracking. So RGB is best suitable if you have a proper color value available. Luminance is something which is suitable if you have the pixels identified in the darker and brighter values. And apart from that, the saturation is something if your pixels are identified in terms of saturation. So right now I will go for luminance, because right now the pattern area has some brighter pixel and rest of the areas are darker as compared to this. Also, you have few options over here. So by using these options, you can simply specify whether the tracking should continue or it should stop if the features are not matching in any of the frames further moving ahead. So the first option that says enhance before match, if you enable this, the tracking will happen as per the enhanced quality of the footage if the quality of the footage is not very good. The second option is track field. So this option should be used if your footage has upper or lower field. The third option is subpixel positioning. You can use it if you have an extremely detailed pixels. And the last option says adapt feature on every frame. So if the feature is going to change as the time proceeds, then you should go for adapt feature on every frame. Also, you have a drop down list which says continue tracking, stop tracking and extrapolate motion. So here you can decide whether the tracking should continue if the matching of the pattern is less than 80%, or you should stop the tracking if the matching of the pixel is less than 80%. So it's up to you what you want to select. As of now, I will keep this as continue tracking. I will click on OK, and now I am going to analyze it in the forward direction. So that's it, and now you can see the tracking has been completed. Now after this, I will right click in the timeline panel. I will go to new and I'm going to create a null object. Once the null object is created, I will again select the footage, and here in the tracker panel, I will click on the edit target button. Here you can select which layer do you really want to track along with this track point. So I'm going to select the null. I will click on OK. And I will click on this button which is apply. If I click on this, it will simply ask in which dimension do you want this null to be tracked. So right now I will select X and Y both, and I will click on OK. And now you can see the null is perfectly tracked along with it. After this, I will right click, I will go to new and I will create a text layer over here. And now I will type some text and I will reduce the font size. I will keep it near to this container. I will adjust the position value and I will select the text layer. I will reduce the opacity a little bit so that it should blend along with the container. That's it. And now I will link the text layer along with the null. So by using the pick whip, I will attach this to the null, and now you can see how the text has been tracked along with the container. So this is the way how you can use the process of one-point tracking to track a layer along with the pixels of any footage which is available. Thank you so much for watching this video.